glad you could join me on this next expedition of Kerbal Space Program. Let's get going. Okay. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to go over Mereging in version 1.13.1289 Windows Player. So this is kind of nice now the way they got it up, since they've got this move tools and all this other good stuff. It used to be some of my ships were built funny, and I had to watch what I was doing when I was flying them. I had to make sure I got my nav ball, because my route, I may have start building them, some of them with something else in order to merge ships together. But now you don't have to worry about that. Why? Because if you load a ship, I'll show you here. Sorry. Maybe I should stop smoking my pipe. Not. Now, you get the tools up here, right here. Tools. Reroute. Now, this, I've already done this, but see, if I wanted to make see that there? My route used to be down here on this. What I'm talking about is you got tool rotate. See, what you do is if you want to rotate something, then you click, then you can rotate these a little bit this way or this way. Or you can move them. Place, move them. So if you click on that, you can pull it this way a little bit and center that, get that exactly centered where you need it to be at. Or that helps when you're putting asparagus on. That last tank, if you're using 6 tanks, it was always hard to put that last tank in and not have it up against the other one. So now you can pull it off to the side a little bit, and you can eject that now without having to put a bunch of rockets on it to keep it away from everything. But okay, now. But see, now my route used to be here. Okay, my route used to be on this here. Now you can tell what. See, you can tell it used to be the route also. See, because that whole thing will move there. But you see, this doesn't. That just indicates that that's not a route part. You can only merge route parts. You can only merge route parts. So. But it used to be here, so I can change it if I wanted to. Right here, see? I can make that now. And double click. Okay. Okay, now see, now that's my route. You can tell it's a route when you click on it, the whole ship moves. Lights up. The whole ship lights up and moves. Now, I can move it back here. Now, I cannot merge onto this ship because that is the route. And there is no no placement box. Placement ball on. But now I can see there is there. And by the way, a shielded docking port, there are parts that you cannot merge to. I know the shielding docking port is one of them. Now if you bring another part in here, just to say that, you can't see there's no ball there. There are still some parts that cannot be merged to, so keep that in mind also. When you grab the part, if it doesn't have the ball, when you put it on there and it doesn't have the ball on it, you can't merge with it. So, but see now if I put this on top of that, see, still got that ball on top. I can merge to that if I make that the root part. So, but just to make it the root part, so I want to change that to the root part. Okay, and then double click that, or click it, click, 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 click. Come on. There. Now that's the root part. Okay? So now, what does that mean? That means that I can take another one that I have just made the root part of another ship, actually the exhaust port on it, the engine. So, I'll save and continue. You should learn that when you ever work on computers. I work work with computers. My son works on computers. You always save. Save and continue. You can't go wrong with that. Otherwise, it'll put you right back where you was at when you left. But it may not have been exactly what you wanted, but it will be close enough to where you can, save. If it's asking you to save, save. Okay, I'm going to go to my medium fly. Now, what I usually do if I want to launch this by itself, I use, I just change, I put one of them structure things. I put one of these on it and make that the root part. And before I had to build it backwards. I had to do that. It was just kind of hard making something the root part. It was. I don't know my own alphabet. LM, medium, lander. Okay, now I think that that there is already got. I already moved that. Yeah, see that? I went in there. I was in there earlier. And I made that my root part. So watch this. See now you can do that. And actually, if I took that off there, I could make without the engine. You can take the engine off and make that other part the root part. But now, when that's the root part, remember when you're in that. And by the way, this does launch, but now will not fly. Now you say, well, how do you know it won't fly right? Okay. First off, let me get it back out here so we can see this most of it. Okay, this will lift this. This has got enough delta force to lift this, or newtons to lift this. My center of thrust is right there, which is good. But let me see my center of mass. See how close them are together, and see how my center of mass is way down here. What's going to happen on this is it's going to get up so high, then it's going to start rolling over. You don't believe me? Well, let's do it. Let's just do it. Well, you can say, well, you can change your center of angle of attack. To launch a ship straight up in the air, then try to get it moving, you burn so much fuel that way. You want to come up and start. The space shuttle did that. That's why it rolled over. It's so it could roll over and actually go up. It's a wonder that thing flew at all, to tell you the truth. But the thrust to weight ratio was right. The newtons was right. People say, well, you're cheating by using this space Y and all this. No. If you can build a rocket that big and have this, see, that's the problem with rockets. The thrust down here, because of the nozzle shape, the way it is, it gets so hot they burn up. Saturn V rockets engines actually burned up. Was pretty well burned up by the time they got the use of them because of that physics problem. If you can solve that problem, NASA would like to know about it. Because the Mir space station, let me tell you about the Mir space station, and using computers, laser guidance systems, and all that good stuff. If you can use it, you ought to use it. Why? I do use MechJab for the same reason. You save fuel, and it's a lot better. I can fly myself, but MechJab makes it a lot easier. I don't have to spend a lot of time here, sitting here. I can actually get something up there and put 3 nav balls, 3 maneuvers in it, and it goes. Because if you can use the computer, NASA uses computers, I'm going to use computers. And it's not cheating. To me, it's not cheating. Using bigger parts is not cheating. If NASA could do it, if Russia could do it, if China could do it. By the way, my good friend Ed Rodine he was the one that discovered the China manned space program. He might have it in one of his talks. When I get it up on my YouTube channel, you can look at it. He worked for NASA, was a liaison, and a journalist, and also a few other things for NASA. I'm not going to go too deep into what he did for NASA, but he's very knowledgeable on the engines and stuff like that. And him and a bunch of others was laughing about the Erie space program, or even the Mars space program. It's all nice that SpaceX is trying to get us to Mars. But let me put it this way: just launching the food for 100 people, you wouldn't believe the size of the engine it'd need. You wouldn't believe, to support 100 people, how many solar panels you would need for that ship. And what he's got drawn there is too much. He's going to have to go nuclear on that. There's no way you're going to be able to supply enough energy for them people on that ship with solar panels. It's engineerically impossible to do that. Nice plan, but getting to Mars is a little bit harder than what they're leading you to believe. It's just, if you just want to get there, it's a year and a half or 18. It's a 2-year mission. That's all there is. It's a 2-year mission just to get there. Then landing is another big problem with Mars. Its atmosphere is way lighter, way thinner, and its gravity is way less. Thrusting down is probably the best way to do it. Parachutes are useless. But that's just because of the gravity in the air is so thin there. And then once you get there, if you're going to use solar panels, you're going to have to have someone out there 24/7. This will not fly. It's going to go up so high and start going over, then it's going to start flipping. That's just my insurance company calling me. Okay, well, I want to kill some Kerbins. Okay, but not right away. I'll stop it before it goes. I just wanted to show you that it's not going to fly. It has enough delta V to lift it. I already know how much delta V this thing's got. But the problem is it doesn't have enough, I don't believe, enough to get it up into orbit. But we'll just let it get up here. It'll fly straight up. It'll fly straight up. I mean, then you could have to rotate it over, but it doesn't have enough delta V to get it into orbit. And it's going to get right over about here, and it's going to keep right on rotating over. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm going to revert flight. Vehicle assembly array. That's just a little bit about merging and some of your flying. You got to keep that center of mass instead of, kind of balancing that. You never want to have your center of thrust in front of your center of gravity. So, okay, there you go. Aerodynamic overlay. Well, it should be somewhere. There it is. Okay. Right there. That's your aerodynamic, right? That's way, way, way forward. So, okay.